VocaLAB Productions.
1943, the last year of Nikola Tesla's life. Oh, Nick, take it easy. It's me.
It is you. Doctor, you haven't aged.
Doctor, you have to come with me. I'm Agent Foxworth, Office of Alien Property, FBI.
We gave you funding and materials. Those funds are hard to come by.
You think you're the only ones who want what I have to offer?
Track down Tesla. 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗫 must also be captured.
Russians, Nazis, both wanting one thing: Tesla's work.
It's clear the Soviets have the target. We find them, we find Nikola Tesla.
Somehow, Tesla received knowledge, forbidden knowledge from my people.
These papers and designs are vital to winning this war and secure the future of the motherland. A foreign agent known as the Doctor has interfered on numerous occasions.
Whatever this time distortion is, it's now advanced further.
I don't care if we're on the same side. When this is over, there'll be a bigger fight.
Oh, can't give me a lift.
Leave her. She's against the American interest.
Sworth, don't leave me. You'll regret it. Seriously.
The Doctor's exhausted body is tossed onto the muddied riverbed. Her coat is in disrepair, with large gashes on its sleeves and along the back. She splutters and claws at the mud, dragging herself away from the river. After gaining some distance, she stops at a set of leather-shoed feet.
The glow retreats. Done is the day of toil. It yonder hastes new fields of life exploring. That no wing can lift me from the soil. Upon his track to follow soaring. Get up, my friend.
A hand is reached out towards the Doctor. She smiles and grips it tentatively.
That's Faust. Oh, Nick, what are you doing out here? You'll catch your death in this cold.
The Doctor struggles to stand and holds her arms to her chest, trying to warm herself.
I'm sorry, Doctor. I let my pride get in the way of what's right. I just wanted to prove that my aged mind was worth something. It was on a beach like this where I made my most important discovery. So long ago.
Tesla's voice croaks as he is gripped suddenly and surrounded by men in black leather jackets. They tighten their hold on the elderly man's shoulders.
I had to tell him where you were going, so I could help you.
Let my mate go!
The Doctor roars as she sprints ahead, yet she's suddenly bashed from behind. She yelps in pain and impacts the mud embankment heavily. A heavy gloved hand is laid on the Doctor's back. It's the Commander.
Mr. Tesla, your mind is worth a lot, especially to the Reich. It will end the war with our total victory.
You can't build anything, mate. The plan's got nicked. You ain't building nothing.
The Doctor laughs as she looks up at her captor. After a moment of calm, the winter wind picks up speed. Something is wrong.
Doctor, you are a fool. If you truly knew your friend, you would know that he's a creator as much as he is a sinker.
The Commander looks upon Tesla. His frail form shudders in the cold.
We saved your friend. Now you answer us. Where is it?
Tesla stays silent. His face is dour, looking down at the Doctor. She winces in pain as she speaks.
Don't tell them anything, Nick!
The Commander nods at the surrounding soldiers. They forcefully punch Tesla in the chest, winding him as he collapses on the muddied embankment.
It's in my lab. My old lab. I have a working prototype. Please stop this.
Tesla cries out in pain as they drag him up from the ground.
There's no need for this.
We are aware of you, Doctor. Your interference is well documented. This will be prevented.
With that, he procures a set of silver handcuffs and attaches them roughly to her wrists. In a last-ditch effort, the Doctor grips the commander's leg in a Venusian Aikido grip. She smiles.
There we go. Your leader is paralysed. Leave this country. There's nothing for you here.
She turns to speak to the commander.
Jeez, mate. Your legs are freezing.
The commander responds by elbowing the Doctor's head. The impact causes a harsh metallic clang. After finally handcuffing the Doctor, he stands before her, removing his jacket. His arms are pure steel from the shoulder to his gloved hands.
I lost my limbs in the Great War, Doctor. Your martial arts have no effect. Now you must be disposed of.
The commander leans over and grips the Doctor's striped shirt and lifts her clear of the ground. She struggles violently while carried to the edge of the embankment. He gives a discerning snarl to the woman in his grasp as he throws her into the river. Her body flails violently in the tide as it constantly washes over her, submerging her deeper and deeper. The winds along the embankment harshen against the skin of Tesla as he looks morosely towards the horizon of the river. As Tesla shivers and breathes restrictively, the commander stands. His limbs shine a ghostly white under the clear moonlight.
You sound cold. Let's get you warm inside your lab.
In a single nod of his head, Tesla is dragged further across the embankment. His leather shoes slosh against the mud, leaving a distinctive dragged track. Meanwhile, under the surface of the river, the Doctor struggles against the handcuffs. As she relaxes herself, she goes over the events in her head.
Right. Tesla's been peeled in a death ray. That's a bummer.
She loosens her left hand from the cuff.
This is child's play. There's only one thing that Commander didn't think of. That I'd get my hands dirty.
With that, her left hand slides out of the cuff. She paddles and rises above the water. After holding her breath for so long, she now struggles and splutters for air.
It tells you something. When 17th century paranoid witch hunters can dunk a woman better than you.
The Doctor swims towards the embankment. Instead of crawling, she strides to a clearing.
Yeah. This looks like a good place for it.
The Doctor grips the sonic screwdriver, holding it aloft and triggers it. The crystalline edges glow a brilliant yellow in the ever-expanding night. After some moments of waiting, the wondrous, hopeful, ancient groaning and wheezing rings out. A warm, stormy wind blows the Doctor's ragged coat behind her. The Doctor's gleeful smile glows in the pulsing light of the TARDIS as it materializes in front of her. The doors click open and loosely swing inside, allowing the Doctor to limp inside.
Cheers. It's been a hell of a night so far.
She grips her leg in pain after reaching the console. The TARDIS plays an ominous, deep tone. The Doctor flips a switch and sighs in response.
I know it looks bad. I'll heal though. I'm currently on 3 things at once. It's like a task manager on overdrive. In fact, here.
The Doctor plugs her screwdriver into the console and the room pulses with dimming light.
track down Foxworth for me. I'm not done with him yet.
The TARDIS responds with a happy trill as the engines roar and the crystalline pillar rises and falls like an overworked piston. At a secluded dockland, Foxworth continues to grip to the ill-gotten papers. He takes tentative steps off the boat and onto a pier. As he plods on, flashes of Victor's battered body appear in the forefront of his mind. His handgun feels heavy, his deep thought interrupted by cold winds blowing against him. He takes fright, running along the pier, not taking notice of the splintered, uneven wood. His feet catch a crater. He stumbles and slams harshly. Standing ahead of him is the ragged, stern form of the Doctor, and behind her, the TARDIS stands fiercely. She stretches out a hand.
We're not finished, Foxworth. The Nazis have Tesla, and he's leading them to a working death ray. I'd rather have Yaz, but you'll have to do.
I can't. I have what I came for.
The Doctor leans down, grasping the papers from Foxworth's coat.
What, these? These are useless. You can't read them or understand them. I told you before. It's my language. Plus, it's only a shopping list.
She chuckles, throwing the papers off the pier. They flutter onto the murky water. Foxworth leans up. His hand is in the inside of his coat.
A shopping list? I don't understand.
Tesla has been in my TARDIS before. He helped me fend off an alien invasion in 1903 with Edison and my mates. My running theory is he snooped a little more than I would have wanted him to.
The pair hobble, reaching the doors of the blue police box.
Bottom line, Foxworth, Tesla has been trying to build a death ray from discarded formulas and bits and pieces. Ordinarily, with stuff like this, you could make a potato battery. With Tesla, he can do something more dangerous. So, in you get. We can chat on the way.
The Doctor pats Foxworth on the back, shoving him into the darkened interior. The Doctor looks out towards the horizon. The sky is ablaze with lightning and stormy clouds. Time is of the essence as she closes the door behind her. The TARDIS soon fades out. Its groaning is distressed, stuttering and struggling to depart. Tesla and the Commander march across a mountainous landscape under the stormy sky. Tesla is dragged forward as steps sink into the damp grassland.
Is this not the site of Watercliff?
The Commander asks with genuine intrigue. Tesla shoots him a disgusted glance.
I'm not just a Nazi. I had talents in the pursuit of science. That's what cost me my limbs. We were experimenting with explosive capabilities in the Great War. I introduced an experimental chemical element. The resulting explosion killed all of my team. I was left alive. My limbs were as good as dead. When I was found, I was abandoned and strapped to a table. My knowledge abused. We have solidarity, Tesla.
I have no solidarity with a man that chooses war over peace. You have forced me to dig up my buried past. I'm an old man. My dreams of stopping the war are just that. Dreams. You don't want to stop it. You revel in the subjugation, the destruction.
Very well. But we are men that can transform dreams into reality. tools, abused by our masters.
I see only one tool before me.
They stop at a warehouse. It's rusted and derelict. The commander lays his gloved hand upon the sheet metal door. It falls off its hinges, landing on the floor with an ear-shattering clang. As they enter the metallic belly of the beast, the commander's eyes light up. Standing before them is a 20-foot mangled form of metal. It flows with wires and sports a spiked spiral top.
You have 10 minutes to have it operational.
Meanwhile, in the TARDIS, Foxworth sheepishly looks around. His hands twitch as he observes the Doctor, aggressively flipping switches and turning dials. They only glance at each other occasionally.
You betrayed me, Foxworth. Left me for dead. I know that winning this war means a lot to you. There are better ways than stabbing your allies in the back.
The Doctor fiercely spins the hourglass apparatus, keeping the grains of sand in perpetual motion.
Allies, you were under arrest. I was forced to come along with you. My mission was to intercept Tesla from meeting with foreign powers. I didn't think aliens would be involved.
The Doctor isn't listening. Instead, she's tilted a dial, and with a sudden shake of turbulence, Foxworth is knocked over.
Soz, bit of turbulence. I've made so many short hops, it must be fuming with me.
She awkwardly leans over the console and holds two buttons at once. Her movements coincide with the turbulent flight of a TARDIS that's being pushed to the edge.
At least tell me where we're going.
Foxworth leans up against a glowing pillar. He struggles to find a grip. The Doctor looks deeply into a silver surface on the console. It pulsates with coordinates.
𝗕𝗵𝗶, about 70 miles from the city. The original site of Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower. Why go there though? The whole site got demolished in 1917, unless he managed to save some of his research. It was, after all, his greatest achievement, and biggest failure.
Sorry for not learning the history, Doc, but what was Wardenclyffe all about? Was it his death ray all along?
The Doctor slams down a lever and glares at Foxworth.
I've told you this time and time again. Nikola Tesla is a pacifist. The tower was meant to send wireless signals through the earth, a way to transmit electrical energy. The bloke who funded it, J.P. Morgan, wasn't impressed, as Tesla wanted to give the world free energy. You've already seen with Nicky. He likes to play with people.
Tesla is crouched on the dirtied steel floor of the warehouse workshop. His hands fumble with the loose wiring under the gargantuan steel structure. He mutters to himself.
Oh, Tesla, you idiot. This wire meant to go here and vice versa. All my life I went and corrected other people's work, yet I didn't think to look at my own.
You talk too much, Mr. Tesla. Your time is fleeting. We have much to prepare before the Doctor arrives to save you.
Tesla sighs and continues to rewire the machine. He intentionally mismatches the wiring. The TARDIS continues to struggle in turbulent flight. The interior console room sparks and shudders. Both the Doctor and Foxworth hold on tightly to the console.
Doc, what's happening?
Ah, don't worry. I do this all the time. Disruptions in the vortex. Oh, you know how it is. Whatever the metal block has forced Tesla to do, it's already started to rip apart the fabric of reality.
With that, she slams the lever hard, causing the TARDIS to break suddenly. It sends Foxworth tumbling towards the doors, while the Doctor grips onto a pillar behind her. For a moment, the TARDIS is still and silent. Foxworth struggles to stand as he leans against the wooden doors. The Doctor loosens her grip on the pillar and leans on the console, looking deeply into the silvery panel. She grins.
Right, I've landed as close as I can to the nexus point, i.e. the death ray. I'm guessing that we only have a couple of minutes before Tesla has it ready to fire and history is changed and fixed that way forever. Believe me, I've dealt with enough fixed points in my lifetime.
The Doctor strides towards the wooden doors. Foxworth stands aside.
You sure you know what you're doing? It sounds like you do. You can promise that you'll sort this right?
The Doctor provides no response as she turns to look at him. Her eyes tell of 1,000 storms and a multitude of lifetimes where that very question has been asked. Foxworth nods in acceptance.
I'm sorry for leaving you for dead. I had my duty and put it before everything else. Let's sort this mess out once and for all.
They both place a hand on the doors and pull, revealing that they have landed somewhere within the derelict warehouse. They both step out cautiously and crouch around to reach the singular source of light ahead of them. The Doctor views the atrocious display ahead of her. Tesla is yet again being held in place as the commander holds a switch.
Doctor! Show yourself! We knew you would come. It's just me and Tesla here. I have an ultimatum to propose.
The Doctor begins to rise to challenge him, but is pulled down by Foxworth.
Are you crazy? He'll kill you and Tesla. Let me go up. My life ain't as important.
Don't be stupid. Of course you matter. That's what all this is about. Every life means something. Even despicable men like him and Victor.
The Doctor looks across to the commander. He holds a gun to Tesla's head. She sighs and shakes her head.
Right. You confront him, and I'll get behind him and disarm the death ray. Or something like that.
How?
I don't know. It's 1943. I'll just pull a load of wires out. Big, scary death machines usually fall apart when you do that. Just chat to him and distract him. I'll go behind and dismantle it.
They both nod in unison as Foxworth heads towards the commander.
Hey.
His sudden arrival makes the commander swiftly turn. His forehead furrows.
Where's the Doctor?
She'll come here soon and stop this whole thing. It's a shame, because as an American, there would be nothing I want more than to turn this weapon on you and end the war. Save my brother. He's out there, fighting your guys, the Japs. Sure, they might not have followed your orders when they bombed Pearl Harbor. When they did, though, they sided with you and everything you stand for. I lost friends in that attack.
The sob story. You think it'll save you? Or Tesla?
The commander presses the barrel of his handgun closer to Tesla's forehead. Under the pressure, the scientist winces in pain.
No, but there's someone that will. Now, Doc.
Foxworth ducks behind some metal crates, while the commander turns to find that the Doctor has her screwdriver aimed at the death ray contraption.
Hold it right there, mate. Any sudden moves, and this warehouse, along with us, and your guys outside, get fried.
The commander attempts a step forward. The Doctor tightens her grip on the sonic.
This won't accomplish anything. More of us will come for Tesla and his research.
Want to put that to the test?
The Doctor grins while wiggling the screwdriver in her fingers.
Now, let me speak to Nikola.
The commander twists Tesla to face the Doctor.
Doctor, what are you doing? You can't trigger the weapon. It'll kill us all.
He starts to tear up as the Doctor holds her screwdriver and loose wires together.
Trust me, Nick. This'll be a blast.
The commander lunges forward. Yet the Doctor rolls out of the way just in time as he tumbles into the exposed machinery. The Doctor spins on a heel and triggers the screwdriver. The machine grinds to life with a shrill scraping. As the commander tries to free himself from the contraption, his limbs begin to buckle under the immense magnetic force.
What did you do? Release me now!
The commander screams with the intense whirring crunch of steel.
Oh, it was already on. I went round the back and fiddled with it. Instead of firing its energy outlet, I reversed the polarity. Its magnetic force is latching onto the closest element. Your unfortunately shiny limbs. If you struggle anymore, you'll lose them.
The doctor gently reassures Tesla, escorting him out of the warehouse. However, from behind, a primal scream rings out. The commander is pulling himself free, detaching himself from his steel limbs. After a final lunge, he rips himself free. His arms are only semi-detached, as they leave his arms as jagged shards. He stares down at the fleeting pair with a sinister smirk. The doctor smirks in return.
I told you not to move! Now you've triggered the 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀.
The doctor leads Tesla out of the door while she stands. The commander releases a guttural yell as he charges towards the exit and the doctor, his sharpened arms outstretched. Just as he reaches her, she extends a finger to his fleshy neck. In a swift move, he's paralyzed.
There's no running away from this. No final move that results in you winning. Today, history takes its course. You will lose the war. And yet again, in my lifetimes, it's taken a huge explosion to set it right.
The doctor looks over his shoulder at the sparking machinery and closes her eyes as it implodes. The shockwave destroys the warehouse as the roof collapses. The doctor is blown away, rolling harshly on the rough grassland. The commander is pulled inwards by the magnetizing force. His body melts away as it is disintegrated within the machinery. All that remains is a silver shard of his metal arms. It glistens under moonlight. The doctor, yet again, struggles to stand as her legs buckle in pain.
Oh, this has been one tough day on the job.
She scans her surroundings and spies Foxworth in the distance. He nods and escapes into the forested area behind the now destroyed warehouse.
Oh, he'll come back. His work with Tesla isn't finished. I remember now. He's the agent that gets a lot of Tesla's work from the hotel safe. Oh, that vulture, picking at dead geniuses' life's work. Not before I get there first. Can't let him get the good stuff.
The doctor's smile drops as she kicks away a sparking piece of debris. Wardenclyffe reduced to ruins. In 1903, it was a beacon of the future, then demolished and cobbled together into a weapon of mass destruction. The doctor snaps out of her thoughts.
It's January 7th now. In a short few hours. It'll be the 8th. Tesla, he's going to die. I have to be there for him.
The doctor frantically searches around. Dust kicks up from her boots.
Nick, are you alright? Where are you?
Her voice carries itself across the wasteland before a sudden reply is heard.
Doctor, I'm here. I'm beyond the tree.
The doctor makes a mad dash to Tesla's side, his form crumpled against a splintered oak tree.
It's alright, mate. I'm here. I'll get you to the TARDIS. You remember the TARDIS, right?
Tesla holds on to the doctor's arm. He shuffles along with his friends towards the charred blue police box, standing on the ashes of the death ray.
Ah, yes. Your marvelous machine. Oh, how I've dreamed of it.
They both chuckle as they reach the doors. The doctor gives a look of warmth to her friend before lightly pushing on the doors to open them. The sudden glow of orange light makes Tesla squint. They both make a step inside the impossible interior. Tesla takes several steps inside. He begins to laugh uncontrollably.
All those times they called me mad for believing the impossible, yet you sailed across the stars and winds of time in this.
Tesla finds himself speechless as the doctor skips past him.
Ah, it's proper mint, innit? I've always wanted to take a trip with you. So that starts now.
With a flurry of button presses and a harsh flick of the hourglass, the TARDIS begins to groan back to life. The crystalline time rotor rises and falls peacefully. Tesla marvels at the mismatched madness of such controls. Both the Doctor and Nikola Tesla laugh warmly as the TARDIS dematerializes. The generated wind swirls the ashes from the death ray, burying the terrible contraption for good in the ruins of Warden Cliff. The TARDIS finally flies smoothly through the vortex. This pleases the Doctor as she looks over the silvery console unit.
Yep, the timeline's cleared up nicely. Although there's something that needs sorting out. You need a reminder, Tesla.
The Doctor gently brakes, causing the TARDIS to dematerialize. The landscape is dark, yet the air is filled with anticipated breaths. In the darkness, people stand ahead of a stage and look to the silhouettes around them. In the distance, a small light flickers and dims intermittently. The TARDIS finally stands amongst a large fountain, overlooking the entire landscape. The door is slightly ajar as Tesla steps out into the darkness.
Where have you taken me, Doctor? The darkness scares me so much.
He takes tentative steps and bumps into the walled border of the fountain. He seats himself down on the solid stone. Finally, the Doctor exits from the warm glow into the dark.
Ah, we haven't missed it. Tesla, you about?
She wanders forward. Her arm is gripped by Tesla.
There you are. You all right, Nick?
Where have you brought us, Doctor? You said this was to be a reminder for me? Perhaps a dark one to atone for my sins?
Tesla nervously stammers and grips against the Doctor's arm. She responds by patting Tesla's arm, hoping to soothe her worried friend.
No, Nick. You deserve the brightest of reminders, to remind you that you are the brightest light in the darkness of humanity.
A young, black-haired man steps onto the stage ahead. It's lit with a singular spotlight. It shines against his black tailored suit. Next to him stands a rotund, balding man in a similar black suit. He grips a large metal switch. They stand on the center of the stage.
Doctor, I know what this is. This is 1893, the Chicago World's Fair, the Columbian Exposition.
The Doctor grips her friend tentatively, as through the stunned silence, the rotund man announces,
People of the world's Columbian Exposition, I bring you the City of Light.
With that, the switch is thrown. Yet nothing happens. There are gasps of disappointment. A rumble of grumbling ensures their expectations are suddenly dashed.
No, this isn't what happens. The lights. Where are the lights? Doctor, please, where are the lights?
The Doctor smirks as she holds her screwdriver up to the air. In a flash of brilliant yellow, the fair suddenly explodes with light. Along the fountain, rows and chains of light bulbs shine everlasting against the white stone of the surrounding buildings. Below them, the water feature reflects brilliantly the majestic lights of the fair. Above them, spotlights light up the sky in a range of fantastical colours. Amongst the amazed spectators, Tesla stands, staring into the sky. His lights stand with the stars.
You just messed up a little bit of the wiring. It just needed a bit of sonicking to get it working properly.
Tesla turns and embraces the doctor in a hug. He holds her tightly with tears in his eyes. She pats him on the back thoughtfully.
My life's work laid before me. It's remarkable.
Well, pinning it down to one reminder was really, really hard. You're an inspiration to every man, woman and child here, and beyond. Despite all the brilliant colours and lights of the universe, there's not many that compare to this night. What do you reckon, Nick?
She steps away, but sees that Tesla is struggling and clutching his chest. He begins to collapse into the doctor's arms.
Oh no, hang on, Nick. Let me get you home.
They enter the TARDIS hastily and depart. Life was beginning to slow down in room 3327. Wheezing and groaning flood the cramped room as the TARDIS struggles to materialise, but manages to slot into place across from the inventor's bed. The door creaks open. The orange hue of the TARDIS interior casts a warm light. The doctor holds a struggling Tesla in her arms. She guides him to the bed.
I can take you to the hospital. You don't have to die in here. It's perhaps the most claustrophobic place in the universe.
Tesla lays himself down, patting his chest.
Doctor, my friend, with your marvelous machine, you reignited the brightest spark in my lifetime.
The doctor kneels behind the aged man, gripping his hand warmly.
I remember what you said on the river. The glow retreats. Done is the day of toil. It yonder hastes. New fields of life exploring. That no wing can lift me from the soil. Upon its track to follow soaring.
Tesla squeezes her hand, a non-verbal appreciation.
Doctor, I can feel the end. Just before my glow retreats. Answer me this. You told me earlier tonight that you had committed genocide with a machine similar to mine. Was this true? I must know. Did my friend who preaches love and peace commit the ultimate sin of character?
His eyes water as he turns to the doctor. He grips her hand. The doctor takes a deep breath.
Yes, I did. But then I found a peaceful solution without the inferno and deaths. The people, my people, had a second chance of life. It's the gift you've given today. The chance to end this war on better terms.
Before I leave you, I want to thank you. Even in my darkest hours, I believed in my humanity. I am honored to call you my best mate.
They both begin to giggle as Tesla coughs violently, and with a final hoarse cough, the air from his lungs escapes him. His eyes dim as they stare everlastingly at the warmth of the glowing sun. The doctor gives a final grip of her friend's hand and lays it across his chest. Standing over him, she delicately lays her fingers and closes his eyelids. She looks over his work on the makeshift desk. Yet again, they're covered in ancient 𝗓𝗓𝗓 symbols. She tuts and shakes her head as she begins to bundle up the work and take it into the TARDIS. Knowing she cannot interfere with Tesla's safe, she departs soon after, leaving Tesla to rest. Once again, the doctor stood alone, her back against the doors as she stared at the gentle rise and fall of the time rotor. The TARDIS was set to one destination.
Back to Yaz.
The doctor looks herself over. She needs a change of clothes. She'd get no end of questions from Yaz over what's happened. After grabbing a fresh set of clothes, the doctor stands ahead of the console, ready to face the doors as they creak open.
Hiya, Yaz. Ready to go?